Are you a network marketer that wants to learn how to handle objections way better so the people that you really feel would benefit from the product and opportunity, they would actually buy? It's going to help you and it's going to help them. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually remove the majority of objections, let alone have to deal with them. And this was a large part of how I was able to sponsor over 750 people inside of network marketing. It was by using what I'm going to teach you here so that at the end of a presentation, there was very little thought for that person to take other than, yeah, I want to do this. There wasn't all that back and forth chasing to and fro. And so let's just get straight to the point and let me teach you this really useful tactic. And of course, I hope it's useful for you and your team. So what I like to do is really put the majority of the work before the presentation. And I get it. Back when I was young, I probably was young, but back when I was new in the industry, it's more like crossing our fingers, like, I think this person's interested. I don't want to do anything to disrupt this fine balance of them teetering towards signing up with me or buying from me. And so we're less brave with our approach. And so really, we leave too much work to be done by the presentation. If we're honest, right, think about this. We often don't fully inform the prospect of what's happening. We don't qualify them. We shove them in front of a generic presentation, and then we wonder why there's a stack of objections and doubt and questions and uncertainty. See, the problem with that approach is if there is a stack of extra information that they need, even if you can give it to them on the spot, they feel like all this new information that they've now just consumed, they have to digest it. It's like taking on a big meal. You know, the second the last forkful hits your mouth, someone asks you on dessert, you're like, give me a minute, let me think about it, let me digest it, right? It's the same with the prospect. So they just aren't going to buy there and then with this approach. So what I recommend doing is this. I recommend that when someone is open to taking a look at what you offer, ask them a series of questions. That's excellent. Why is it that you want to take a look at this? And leave a pause. Let them tell you why they're interested. Okay, let's work through an example. This tends to work best. Let's say that I'm talking to someone about health and wellness supplements and they say, yeah, I would like to take a look at some of that, please. I say, okay, great. What specifically has got you interested in these health and wellness supplements? Well, Richard, you know, I have been gaining weight over the past few years and I really want to lose it. Okay, great. So you'd like information centered around weight loss more than everything else? Yes, absolutely. Okay, and why do you think it is that you've gained the weight? Well, you know, I've moved away from this habit, moved away from that habit. Okay, and if these supplements could get you an initial weight loss, would that motivate you to get into better habits? Yeah, I think that it really would. And how is the weight gain affecting you at the moment? Is this just something that back of your mind somewhere, or is it the front of your mind a priority? It's a priority. I had a checkup recently, and so can you see how this conversation would go? Literally would take me a minute or a few messages if you're doing it through social media. But what I'm going to end with in that conversation is I'm going to say, well, listen, I am really glad that we found each other because I'm going to send some information your way that is going to cover, and I'm going to talk back what they said. Now, if you're smart, if you're ambitious, if you want to go big in your company, you should do what I did, which is to really consume a really well-rounded amount of resources. And so I knew which resource was best for which scenario and which person. I knew exactly where the information was that they was looking for. And so if you came to me and you were a dad and you wanted to lose belly fat, I would know which part of which video that was in. And so I didn't need to confuse you with a whole bunch of information that was not applicable to you, which would create questions and create objections. Instead, I would cut straight to the chase and say, I've got the perfect bit of information for you. If you want to see a dad like yourself of a similar age and the results that they've got and how they did it, I can send you some information. If I do, will you watch it? Absolutely, Richard. I want the answers. Okay, great. Because I can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves, and I don't want to waste each other's time. So if I send you this, will you watch it? Are you actually going to do something with it? Yes. Okay, I've sent it to that person. And we would agree when I was going to follow up with them. It could be on the spot. And so when they watch that information, what have I done? I've tinted their spectacles in specificity. It's like I've dipped it in a good filter. I wouldn't lie, I wouldn't say there was something there that wasn't. The truth is always good enough. But what I've done is, and what you will do if you follow this approach, is you've allowed that person to understand that you care, that you understand their situation, that you probably have the solution they need, and you can prove to them in a resource that people just like them are getting the result that they would like. And so that gives you instant authority, it gives you instant rapport, and it really does have a person looking at that information saying, this is exactly what I've been looking for. So when they've consumed that, there's typically very little to talk about, is there? You've shown them that you understand where they are, you've shown them that you understand where they want to get to, and you've shown them that what you provide is a bridge between the two. And you've proved it, backed it up with other case studies, other people's stories. And so now really, what have they got to think about? Not much. So they may have a couple of sort of specific questions. You can maybe answer those very quickly. But it's highly unlikely they're then going to start saying the usual, well, will this work for me? Well, is it worth it? Are people like me getting these results? Because I'll tell you, the stuff that they're saying, like I don't have enough time or I don't have enough money, is a lie. They're saying that to mask the real reason, which is more personal, and they just don't want to say it. Often it's, I'm embarrassed about the way I look, or I'm embarrassed about my financial situation, or I'm embarrassed about something else. People are proud, right? And so with this approach, you can really, really build that rapport, build that trust, and it's much more fulfilling. Like when you have this approach, the same when I make a sale, I'm so happy when that person joins because I genuinely feel they're going to get the results that they want. I feel I did a really good job with that person, and now I know them a little bit better and their motivation a bit better. I'm rooting for them. And I'm more likely to like, is it working? How's the results going? It's not even a marketing thing anymore. It's a genuine human-to-human interaction, and I care about their results, and that's when you do the best work, right? Anyway, this video is already coming up to 7 minutes. Do you think this will be useful for you? Are you going to give it a go? Do you think you could do a little bit more before the presentation? Do you think you could maybe do better in having a selection of resources instead of just shoving the same one on them? In actual fact, you could probably share less information and get more results by removing these objections and having a much more specific approach. There's a whole bunch of stuff I could teach you on this topic. I don't like to make my videos too long. I want to give you something where you can digest it and implement it. And if you do get results with it, I'd love to hear back from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your results, as I always do. Now, as I always say, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. If there's anything you need to know from me, I'm easy to find. Find me, reach out, message me. I'll always do my best to help. And if you're a subscriber, I will be speaking to you soon on the next useful, practical video to drive results in your business. I'll try and put some accompanying resources in the description or the comments area if you did want to continue consuming content from me. I always do my best to do that. So who knows, I'll maybe see you in another video really, really soon. Have a good one, and bye for now.